would now like to come back to a quote that you've seen earlier in this course. A quote by Michael Porter that I shared with you when we were defining the essence, the concept of strategy. And some of you might remember that Michael Porter said, the essence of strategy is choosing what not to do. Strategy is creating fit among companies' activities. And I want to ask you now, given what we've just heard, why is this potentially important? Why is the essence of strategy choosing what not to do? Why is the essence of strategy choosing which business not to enter? What do you think? What's the potential problem associated with entering maybe too many industries? Think about it a bit, and let's then continue together our exploration of this interesting question. So the primary tension that is being discussed in academia, so in scholarly research, when it comes to corporate strategy, is this tension between what is known as responsiveness and synergy. So now imagine Tesla, a car company, which sees multiple business opportunities. So business opportunity in the, let's say, home battery industry, a business opportunity in the solar panel market, a business opportunity in the e-bicycle market, a business opportunity in potentially other fields. So the question then is essentially this one depicted here. So to what extent do I want to be responsive as an organization and seize these opportunities that I uncover? Or alternatively, how important is it for me to create synergy among these various businesses? That is, to what extent do I want to make sure that the businesses I'm engaged in as an organization somehow fit together, are complementary to each other, create synergies, that is, reinforce each other. And we might have very different logics as decision makers about this trade-off, if you want, between being responsive and or focusing on creating synergies. If we say that our primary task in scoping our organization is to be as responsive as possible and seize all possible opportunities that we identify, then we would resemble then our organization would resemble a holding company, because we would have businesses that are potentially unrelated. And our primary role then would be to somehow allocate capital to the various businesses we are engaged in and to control them. And the business units, they would remain highly autonomous simply because the interrelationships between the various businesses in our portfolio are somehow limited, right? So responsiveness is all about trying to seize the business opportunities as they emerge, even if the businesses are unrelated to each other. And now the opposing view would suggest that if we craft our portfolio of businesses, it's really important to make sure that we achieve synergy, that these businesses reinforce each other, that we achieve a common core, that if we are Tesla and we have multiple other businesses potentially one day, such as the home battery business, then we need to make sure that we have a common core, that they reinforce each other. And we'll be speaking about this common core later in this video. And what we want to do then is to engage in businesses that are closely related to each other. Maybe because they offer to our customer complementary products or services. So if we think about the home battery now, and if you think about the Tesla customer, then you can easily imagine that I'm driving the Tesla Model 3. I come home and I want to take advantage of the solar panel I have on my roof. And for that purpose, I need an energy storage device that is powerful at home, ideally in my garage. So this Powerwall, this Tesla battery, could be a highly important puzzle piece, if you want, to create a consistent electric mobility ecosystem. So that business, we could say, is closely related, right? The home battery business is closely related to creating this consistent energy or electric mobility ecosystem. So the key purpose then of Tesla, if it's engaged in these multiple businesses, would be to manage these synergies and to make sure that the individual businesses are highly integrated so that they can reinforce and strengthen each other. So it's very important in terms of corporate strategy to decide where we are on this spectrum from being highly responsive to trying to create synergies, that is to try to create fit among the multiple businesses we are engaged in. And I want to illustrate this now and continue this illustration of Tesla and its entry into the home battery market. So here you see the Tesla Powerwall, and the Tesla Powerwall is that battery which is powered by energy, ideally from the solar panel you have on your roof, and then at night you come home after a long day at work. You can later on enjoy that beautiful view on probably Los Angeles or some other US city, and your battery will be fully charged throughout the day, and then you plug in your Tesla Model 3 or whatever Tesla model you have, and it will be recharged the next morning, and you won't have to pay anything for this. So given what we heard, that could really make sense strategically for Tesla to enter this market, right? Because it is that important puzzle piece. I want to be slightly more systematic though in trying to assess that strategic move. And we can now go back to what Michael Porter said. And he essentially said there are 3 key tests that any business opportunity needs to pass for it to make sense strategically. And Michael Porter said that the first test is the attractiveness test. And that's no surprise given Michael Porter's background in industry analysis, right? So he says, first of all, the business we are attempting or considering to diversify into needs to be located in an attractive industry. So we shouldn't really be seizing business opportunities in industries that are unattractive, that are struggling, right? That's something we should not consider. At the very minimum, the industry should have the potential to be attractive. And as for the battery industry, we haven't done any in-depth analysis on that home battery industry segment, but it doesn't appear too appealing initially. But maybe if we somehow reshape it, and if we redesign it, if we give it a key role in that electric mobility ecosystem, then maybe it has the potential to become attractive one day. So if we think about that Tesla home battery business, then we could maybe tick this in parentheses or with a little question mark. The second test is the so-called cost of entry test. That is, we need to make sure that our cost of entering that home battery industry will not consume all future profits. That is, if we spend more money on developing these Powerwall batteries than we will ever get back through the sales of them, then we shouldn't do this, right? I would expect that that's unlikely to be the case, right? Obviously, Tesla will need to invest in these batteries, but that's something they do anyhow, right? They need to invest in battery technologies because that's at the core of their electric cars. So they will be experts in battery technologies anyhow, and they can leverage these investments to the home battery market. So this should pass the cost of entry test. And the last part is perhaps the most important in strategic terms, and that's the better off test. And the idea here is that either the parent company or this new business should be better off by doing these activities under one roof, if you want. So if we use our example once again, so either Tesla's Powerwall business should be better off because it is associated with Tesla Motors, or the other way around. So if we look at, first of all, the battery segment, or the home battery business, then we said already that it's obviously better off by being associated with Tesla, because all the engineering expertise, all the technological developments can be leveraged to this new business. So there's clear compatibility in terms of technological developments between the Powerwall and the Tesla battery development for the Tesla car. If we now think about the advantage for Tesla to engage in that, for Tesla Motors to engage in that home battery market, then we can also see that it is of a benefit, because it is that important puzzle piece to building a complete, a consistent electric mobility ecosystem. So we could also, I think, tick this better off test. There are advantages for both businesses to work together. There are synergies to be leveraged. So this seems to look quite good, right? So if we apply these tests, we might come to the conclusion that it's actually a smart move by Tesla to enter that home battery business. And I want to illustrate this here now to you graphically. If we look at this picture now, then I think the immediate appeal of this entry into the home battery business becomes quite apparent. So this is, let's say, your garage. You have this Tesla Model S. You come home after a long day at work, as I said, and you now have the power wall installed. It has captured all the solar energy during the day, and you simply plug in your Tesla Model S, recharge it during the night, and you're ready to go the next morning. So according to Tesla and how Elon Musk presented it, this power wall really is the missing piece, or was the missing piece, in building a consistent electric mobility ecosystem. It's that element that I need to make this a consistent and coherent user experience. I need a possibility to capture energy, ideally renewable energy, and then use that to recharge my Tesla car. So with that in mind, and considering what we learned in this video, it appears to be quite a smart move, also business-wise, and obviously also in terms of accelerating this transition towards greener energy generation. So many thanks for watching so far. In our next two videos on Red Ocean Strategy, we'll be looking at generic strategies. In particular, we'll be looking at a differentiation strategy and a cost leadership strategy. So please stay on and see you in our next video. Thank you.